I would avoid it. I would say I would avoid it. I mean, for $10, I definitely think it's an MMO to definitely try out for sure. It's not for everyone, right? This game is definitely not for everyone, but that goes with every game, right? It really just depends on your play style, your preference. You might like it, but someone else might not like it. You don't know until you try it. All right, welcome back. So is BDO an okay game for a MMO newbie? Oh man, this is a hard one, especially with all of the drama here recently with this game these past couple of months. But I would say that yes, this game can for sure be good if you're new to MMOs, right? I've been playing this game since 2016. It's been my main game since then, and I probably have over 9,000 hours played into BDO, and I definitely don't regret a single hour. However, I think it really kind of just depends on your personality, right? Like if you feel like you get overwhelmed really easy, then this might not be the best game for you because this game can definitely make you feel that way, right? There are a lot of different systems in this game. There's a lot to learn and kind of understand. And BDO does not really hold your hand either in regards to those systems, right? So, I think looking up guides like on YouTube can be a huge help, especially at the beginning stages. And some people kind of don't want to do that. Some people are okay with doing that. So it really kind of just depends on your personality. If you're kind of willing to take your time and kind of learn the systems and look at guides, because this is definitely not I would say it's not a very easy MMO to kind of get into at the beginning stages. Now they have improved the new player experience over the years, especially with season servers allowing you to kind of level up faster and get gear faster. But, it's still not really the greatest. Now, one aspect that is important to know is that BDO is really not your kind of traditional Western MMO experience, right? Which, if you are truly new to MMOs, then it doesn't really matter. But, if you've played like World of Warcraft, then this game is definitely much different, right? This is I would say a very grindy game, but with a lot of freedom to kind of choose what you want to do in this game as well. But just know that the main kind of in-game PvE for the most part kind of consists of grinding mobs kind of endlessly in a circle, which is definitely not for everyone. But for me, I personally enjoy it. I like it because that's kind of when the action combat really starts to shine. And if you do play this game and get a taste of that action combat, it's really hard to kind of go back to other MMOs that utilize a tab target system. But like I said, I personally enjoy the grinding aspect of this game, which is probably why I've been playing since 2016. Now, is grinding in a circle the only, content? It's definitely not, right? But it's going to be the content that makes you the most money in the game. Now, there are, a bunch of life skills that you can get into that are really fun. Me personally, I really like the sniper rifle hunting here in the game. And then you have Node Wars, right, which is kind of going through some tough times right now. There's also solo and group bosses kind of in the Land of the Morning Light expansion that you can do, which are fun. There's the 3v3 Arena of Solare that you can do and fight other people in, which the gear is equalized, so you're kind of on an equal footing, and that's really fun to do. However, that's kind of limited because they don't have that up all the time, which is unfortunate, kind of stinks. But yeah, I mean, I think this is a good game to at least try out, especially for, what is it? I think it's like $10 on Steam. So, you're definitely going to get your money's worth, I think, for $10. And, I think also another important aspect with this game, if you really want to get in this game, it's important to have a mindset that you should treat this game as more of a marathon and not a sprint. But let's go ahead and take a look at this post and kind of see what this individual is kind of asking, and then kind of what the people are saying. All right. Is this game okay for an MMO newbie? Plan to play the mobile version. I actually never played an MMO game long enough to reach the end game. Uh-oh, that's not a good start. My experience in MMO was Terra Online. Play as a mystic, the one that can summon Guardian and healing orb balls. And I think I only played until level 50 or 60 before stopping. I played a little bit of Terra Online. I never really got far into that game myself. I am bad at PvP. Is playing Pokemon Unite PvP question mark. And not good at fast skill combo. I typed with 2 fingers. Hey, that's okay. That's all right. Also, I'm kind of casual. That's fine. Yeah, kind of like Terra because of the world architect, visuals, and story lore. Probably going to focus on aimless journey while drinking my tea, fishing, crafting, cooking, gameplay. Can anyone tell me what class is PvE beginner friendly? I'm looking for a shy class since it mentioned laid back playstyle. Also, is there a summoner class or tamer class? Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to kind of go on there. Shy class. I've never really played shy other than like for life skilling, so I can't really speak on its like PvE aspect, but group play, shy is really good. So, but kind of the best PvE beginner friendly. I mean, there's so many classes, so many good classes too that you really can't go wrong with any one. I think it really just kind of depends on what do you prefer to play? Like what's your type of play style? Like do you like more fast paced or more slow pace or whatever it may be? I mean, there's definitely pros and cons for each class, but I think it really just depends on what do you prefer to play? Like what's your style of play? Because I mean, a lot of classes are pretty good for the most part. There's definitely top tier PvE grinders for sure, but in order for you to really kind of enjoy and get into the game, you really have to enjoy that class. PvP, yeah, there's not really much PvP going on these days. I think I think this right here, I actually never really played an MMO game long enough to reach the end game. I don't know. This person might not be able to make it past the mid stages then, because I mean, can you really say that there's truly an end game for BDO? I don't know. Like you're kind of just endlessly grinding with like infinite progression. So, I mean, you could probably quote unquote reach end game, I guess by like maybe after seasons in a way. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of systems to learn that can make new players kind of confused and just stop after like the first couple hours. Let's see what the comments say. I tried this as my first MMO and I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of new players. Yeah, I mean, it's so important to like look up guides, like beginner player guides to start this game, to kind of just understand the systems a little bit better. I'm 600 hours into it over the years, on and off, same page, buddy. Yep. This is my first main MMO and it was enough to ruin my life. So true. This wasn't my first main MMO. Like I played WoW. I would say maybe WoW was my first MMO. And then I played BDO and game over after that. Game over after that. Literally so many hours into this game. And again, I don't regret a single hour. Like this has been my favorite game that I've ever played, right? And yeah, I definitely would not regret any hours that I played this game. There's a lot to it. Boils down to some edible chunks. Make a seasoned character. It should guide you through the basics. Don't worry about linking nodes. These are what are used for towns and cities. And yeah, the biggest thing for a new player, just make sure you do a seasoned character. You definitely want to do a seasoned character. First, you need to decide what you want from the game and how much you're willing to devote yourself to progress. If you want to enjoy the game for yourself, then the game is worth it. For a beginner, it has a lot of variety. Very true. In addition to PvE farming spots, you can do a bunch of crafts if you like their mechanics. The game also encourages constant online AFK. I think maybe back in the day, yeah, like AFK fishing, but now, the amount of money you make AFK is not that great. So Back in the day, I would say this was definitely a lot more relevant, but now it's just kind of like, yeah, like I've never done any AFK activities on BDO. I mean, I have done AFK activities, don't get me wrong, but I haven't done them in probably like 3 or 4 years, right? I think the only time I really did any type of AFK activity was like when I was doing my cooking to get my cooking to Guru. So other than that, I didn't do any AFK activities. Just didn't really care to leave my computer on all the time. And even like now in today's BDO where we're at, you can just go grind for an hour at one grinding spot, and that's all you really need to do to make money, right? So constantly be online, you don't really have to. But yeah, you can fish, horses. Usually people AFK activity wise, it's going to be fishing or leveling up your horses. BDO is a game in which any of your actions is useful. True. The game also encourages the creation of many characters, and since this is even mandatory, yeah, like all characters, yep. Do not be afraid. You don't have to play all. You do not have to play for all the characters. Just try. Why many characters? Question mark. To bet on world bosses and just relog when they appear. Kill bosses and go to the main character without distracting him from the activity you were doing. Yeah, so having alt characters for bosses. That's pretty much what this person is saying, right? It's not necessarily like mandatory to have alt characters. Like I don't use like really any of my alt characters, but it's good to have them to be positioned at certain like world bosses. Sure. In this style of play, you're limited only by your requirements for yourself. At any time, you can switch to another style of play, start farming or PvP. If we're talking about another style or of play, then you'll have to farm a lot to get good gear and go to PvP. Think that you're not interested in this? Yeah, I mean, even like PvP, like once you reach a certain point, like you're going to be gear capped anyway. Regarding the character Shy, she's very useful and easy to master with a good gear. Shy is very necessary in dungeons. Shy is also a very useful passive for increasing the weight of the inventory with increasing level. For example, on my main characters with the same set of inlays, I had about 1 to 1.k weight. At the same time, my Shy level 61 had about 1.4 or 1.5. When hunting or cooking or alchemy, this is a very good bonus. That's true. So you can do whatever you want in this game. Join a PvE guild that will provide you with buffs. Go with them to bosses or become a mercenary to bosses. Good bosses can bring you about 1.1 to 1.3 billion silver in 30 minutes. I don't know if that's true, which is equivalent to 3 or 4 hours of farming average spots for beginner players. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, because usually like Polly's Forest or those other spots, you might be averaging like 300 million or maybe 200 to 300 million an hour, potentially. Maybe a little bit less. It just depends how efficient you are with the rotation and the combos and whatnot, and your gear too. A lot of factors into it, for sure. Don't worry about gear. Now there's a season system. Highly recommend starting with the season. Yes, where you get to boss set of grade 20, which is equal to a 19 boss set, and this is enough for you to close most of the content. The game is extremely loyal to beginners at this stage, but if you want to try something more, you'll know what suffering is. Just kidding or not. Anyways, if you want to have fun and your goal is to play for yourself and for fun, the game will provide you with this. I myself once ran away to BDO from another PvP game where I had to play as if I was a second job and there was no time left to develop my character because of constant raids. Therefore, a second monitor with a movie or TV series to conquer the world of BDO. I mean, that's what I do. I think a lot of people kind of do that too, is while they're grinding. They just put their favorite TV show up, anime series, whatever it may be, and just watch that while they're also grinding. So I do that a lot. This wasn't my first, but I'll tell you, it's the furthest one I've been playing from being an MMO, and I love it for that. Definitely recommend. Okay, yeah. Yes, for the better average standard of MMO, BDO is still a good MMO. If you want to see bad MMO looks like, watch Josh Strafface on YouTube. Yeah, he has that bad MMO series. Just stop when you can grind every PvE spots, because maybe Dekia 2, because that's when BDO turns from a video game to a full-time job. It's bad progression from that on, and it gets worse every major patch nowadays. So yeah, go play it. It's a decent game. Also to add, Evil Do Us Harm is a great resource to learn different aspects of the game. Yes, I second this. Evil Do Us Harm has a really good YouTube channel that has a lot of content on there for beginner players, mid-tier players, even in-game players, right? So has a lot of good resources. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out Evil Do Us Harm. I would avoid it. I would say I would avoid it. I mean, for $10, I definitely think it's an MMO to definitely try out for sure. It's not for everyone, right? This game is definitely not for everyone, but that goes with every game, right? It really just depends on your play style, your preference. You might like it, but someone else might not like it. You don't know until you try it. One of the more confusing MMOs. It can be confusing, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hold your hand. That's for sure. It does not hold your hand. You really have to like actively use your brain and try to figure out like what's going on. What do I need to do? No. I like how these people are getting downvotes. Awakening Musa is a great class for low effort, low end PvE. Yeah, I would really enjoy Awakening Musa. And it's fast too. So 100% agree with that. Should be perfect for you if you just want to do the bare minimum to get yourself into life scaling. Yes, it is, as long as you don't listen to anyone, including me. Just play your way and you're set. Yeah, you just got to play however you prefer. But it would feel like a single player most of the time. Yep, that's true. BDO is my second MMO. I'm still playing 2 years later. Also really suck at PvP, so I only play PvE. The thing about BDO is that there's a slight learning curve with some aspects of it. However, there are enough resources out there to quickly learn about them, like YouTube. Yep. Many YouTube channels, Twitch. Make a seasoned character, level them up to 60. You can either do this by fighting enemies or doing the story. When you're done, you can get some good starter gear for free, and it gives you an introduction to some of the systems in the game. Pick a class you like playing. Yep. If you find the class that doesn't suit you, just pick another. There are enough to choose from. Don't worry about catching up. The game is 10 years old. That means that there's a lot of content, and each bit of content takes a lot of time to complete, especially if you're a very casual player. Focus on the parts of the game you want to do and leave the rest behind until you feel like you're doing it. If you're into life skilling, use an interactive map when you go gather ingredients. Saves you a lot of time. There are several on the internet you can use for free. I think those are really good tips there that this person gave. Do you know which class that has healing? Is healing potion spamming a thing in this game? I play solo. That's why I prefer class with good survivability. I mean, a lot of the classes have good survivability. Yeah. Yes, you can heal by using certain skills, but it depends on which class, as well as potions. Yeah, there's also an infinite HP bottle that you can make. Yep. Sorcerer's Dark Knight, I know for sure have healing through some of their skills, but all classes can make use of potions. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many different classes, but most classes can sustain pretty well with like their healing and mana. So, and then also like once you get your infinite HP mana pots, like then your class is just like there's nothing to have to worry about with anything. It is not really beginner friendly. It doesn't explain a thing to you about gear really, or gives you hints on what to do. It's a very hardcore type of MMO. It is pretty hardcore, but it's hardcore, but still casual players can still get into it for sure. However, the combat, the gameplay of the world is very well built, can keep you invested for a really long time with the various upgrades and things to do. You can easily put 500 plus hours into this game and you'd only be scratching the surface. That's so true. So true. Like I have 9,000 hours and I feel like I still have yet to scratch the surface of this game. There's a tamer class. I main tamer. She's a very fun class to play and is one of the 3 classes that have a summon. Her summon is a wolf mount that makes for a great backup mount. Tamer's a pretty cool class, I agree. You can do combat riding. It's really cool. If you like the idea of an entirely open world MMO, then BDO is definitely for you. And I think that's what it does best over the other MMOs. While most have you dungeon raiding or entering instance content, BDO is almost completely open world, and even the dungeons are made that way, open-ended. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a lot of freedom to kind of do what you want. You can hunt, fish, grind monsters, chop trees, gather various herbs, mushrooms for alchemy, start a farm, train, breed horses. So much to do and try. So while it may not be beginner friendly, so to speak, it's definitely worth the play. Yes. It's definitely worth a shot. If you've never played an MMO before, this game is for you. You're not hung up on a weird MMO concepts. Yeah. Kind of like the Western MMO aspects with like traditional dungeons and whatnot. And you can play the game with much more of an open mind. Yep. Yeah, I think that's a good fair point. If you're planning to play the mobile version, which is not the same as BDO PC console, it's mostly an AFK game. You can auto farm, auto fish, just grind through the story at your own pace without ever interacting with other players outside of other things like co-op boss. I think it's a good option for what you're looking for. You can set up an emulator to watch your character farm. Yeah, I played BDO mobile. I really enjoyed it back in the day. I haven't played it for years though, but I thought it was a pretty solid game. I mean, I think it's a good mobile game for sure. And there's a lot of good systems in that too that probably should be ported over to BDO. Personally, I think this is one of the best MMOs on the market for new players right now. The pity system gets you into a competitive bracket with minimal work, and then you hit a massive wall. That being said, it's not a very group-friendly game. That's true. I feel like the developers are trying to improve on that. You know, right? They just released the Land of the Morning Light bosses here recently. So the only drawback is like there's no matchmaking system. So you either have to like use the world chat or the party board system, which isn't the greatest unless maybe you're trying to use it on the weekend when there's like more players playing. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what the future entails with the whole group aspect of the game. If you like playing by yourself, doing spreadsheets, and maybe nope, not me, not spreadsheets, and maybe spending a couple hours a week with your friends in a frenzy of organized chaos, Node Wars will be fun for you. Yeah, even though Node Wars right now is not really much of a thing right now. If you like the idea of cooperative and comprehensive play and learning mechanics with your friends and growing together, don't bother. I mean, yeah, I think some of the new group bosses have some mechanics that you kind of have to understand a little bit. So, but I mean, sure, some fair points, I guess. Yeah. All right. What a cool post there. Yeah. I mean, I think if you're new to MMOs and I think you're looking at playing BDO as your first MMO, I definitely think it's worth a shot. For me, it's been game-changing, life-changing. I love BDO. It's been my main game since 2016. I don't regret a single hour on this game at all. So I think it's definitely worth a shot to try out. You may also fall in love with this game, but you may not, and that's okay, right? I think it's so important to try different games and just kind of see like what do you prefer, like what's your play style, and this game might be that for you or it might not be. But hey, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.